But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession. And if you go to Revelation, you are not the only ones. There are people for his own possession from every tribe and every tongue throughout the history of the world that are going to be there going, worthy is the Lamb who was slain. And we get to be a part of it.
Good morning. It is April 11th, the 11th day of Vlog Every Day in April. I'm spending some time this morning trying to renew my passport because I've got a mission trip that I'm trying to take this summer. So yeah, and my passport expires on April 21st, 2019. That means I've had this thing for 10 years. Which actually I've had two. This is my second passport. So I've had a passport for 20 years of my 42 years of my life. And one of these days I'll have to tell you about the first passport that I ever got and the reason behind it. But this passport has a lot of stories. So I don't have a cool overhead rig to show you this, but here are some of my stamps that I've gotten in my passport. Obviously most of those are going to be from Mexico, went to China, took a trip to Nigeria, and there should be an Indonesian one in here. This is that yellow fever thing that I had to get whenever I went. I think I went to China on the yellow fever. Maybe it was Nigeria. Oh man, that Nigeria thing, that trip was a story too. Anyway, renewing this sucker today. So now I gotta get a new passport photo. I think Walgreens will do that. I think. Got them. Passport photos, $15.89. So why does it feel like there's never anybody working in the photo part of Walgreens? Like, I had to ask a poor lady who was like stocking a shelf, like the candy aisle. I had to ask her to help me with my passport photo. She was a really nice lady, but you know, there's never anybody there for the photo stuff. And then you ask the other people and they're not really like trained on it. They don't really know. But anyway, got my picture. I'm gonna show it to you in a second. I'm not 100% you can handle this. This is my new passport picture. Looks kind of like me, doesn't it? Doesn't actually look that much different than the one from 10 years ago. I bet you'd like to see that one, wouldn't you? The one from 10 years ago. Here's the new picture. I look tanner in the old one. Missions to me is super important. Obviously I spent 12 years in Mexico as a missionary, and just the thinking about all those places that I've had the opportunity to go to train youth pastors or share the gospel or do different service projects. They've always been really worth the cost. And right now I'm talking to some of our students in our ministry about doing missions and being on mission and going on a short-term mission trip this summer, which is why I'm renewing my passport. And the inevitable always comes up that everybody is always worried about, well, what's it gonna cost? Funny thing is that on my Instagram the other day, I posted a quote by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, which said, "When Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die." He first said that quote in this context. He says, "It may be a death like that of the first disciples who had to leave home and work to follow him, or it may be a death like Luther's who had to leave the monastery and go out into the world. But it is the same death every time, death in Jesus Christ, the death of the old man at his call." So there is a lot of work that goes into doing what God is calling you to do, doing what God is asking you to do. And oftentimes that includes paying money, that includes having to do work on getting your passport, that includes the actual work whenever you get down there, that includes sometimes giving up everything and moving to a foreign country. But it is a call that is worth it. It is something that I believe is valuable. It is something that we need to be doing. It's not just a suggestion that we're doing this. Every single follower of Jesus needs to be involved in mission somehow, somewhere. And that could be giving your money, that could be going short term, that could be praying for other missionaries. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do it. But being involved in God's mission, and God's mission to the nations, is an important part of the process of growing in maturity. So I just wanted to kind of share that, as well as all of this with me trying to get my passport today and sending it off. Anyway, that was on my heart, so I thought I had to share it with you. Now I'm gonna eat these peeps because they're staring me in the face. Literally. These are the best ones, by the way.